is being recorded.
Listen up, HR professionals. This is the HR Drill Sergeant channel, where we turn strategy into action and knowledge into results. Are you ready to dominate the HR front lines? Here we break down the latest trends, cutting edge strategies, and game changing insights. You need to lead with authority and impact. No more middleman or fluff. It's time to cut through the noise and get right to the point. Master the art of HR like the true professional you are. So, ready yourself for action, brace for impact, and let's turn knowledge into power. This is the HR Drill Sergeant channel, your ultimate source for winning on the HR battlefield. Once again, I'm the HR Drill Sergeant. I'm here to break you down, and build you back up. The title of today's episode is Leading by Example, probably one of the most important things you can do as a leader. If you do nothing else, this is the primary thing you've got to get right if you're starting to learn how to lead or you're a seasoned leader. So, this is part 2 of a series that I'm doing. The recap, there is a one I did last week, or whenever you're watching this, that goes over all 12 principles of leadership. Today is the first one, and where I cover each and every one of these. Starting off with leading by example. So, if you're ready to stop making excuses and start showing your team what real leadership looks like, welcome to the Leadership Boot Camp. Now, you could sit there, all comfy in your office chair, and play, I'm the leader card. But today, we're going to set the record straight. So you better listen up, because today's lesson will either make you or break you. Lead by example. If you're not doing it, then get out. Stop being a leader, because you're not. If you're not leading by example, do you want respect? Do you want your team to follow you? Then it's time to earn it the hard way. This is one of the most important things. One of the first things I learned when I went through back then was called Army Primary Leadership Development Course. They changed it to Warrior Leader Corps, Basic Leader Corps, whatever it is you want to call it. It was the first leadership school I went to when I was a young non-commissioned officer, or prior to. So the biggest thing you can do, and I want you to understand this, for those of you watching this, leading by example is a crucial skill you need to do to be successful within your leadership career. If you're not doing it, you're not a leader. So get on board and start leading by example. So listen up, you HR professional, business leaders, and managers. This is the HR Drill Sergeant once again. And today we're talking about one of the most critical principles of leadership. Principle number 1. Lead by example. If you think leadership is about issuing orders from behind your desk and watching your team do all the heavy lifting, then you're dead wrong. We don't need desk jockeys. We need leaders. Leaders who lead from the front, not from the back. So get that in your head right now. Lead from the front. Let them see what right looks like. Show them what right looks like. Set that example of what you want them to follow. Be a leader that you want others to follow. A leader that you wish you had when you were starting off, or wish you had right now, for that matter. If you're still sitting there thinking you can sit comfy and tell others what to do, then fuck up. Because you're not built for this. Leadership isn't about titles. It's about action. Your actions need to speak louder than any of your speeches, your meetings, or your PowerPoints, or whatever else you got going on nowadays. If you want, do you want your team to trust you? You want them to respect you? Then show them what it looks like to lead. You people need to get into the trenches with them. Fight side by side and push through the grind together. If you expect them to show up early, you better be there before they do. When I first got promoted to sergeant, I showed up on time, like 15 minutes prior. like everyone else did. My first sergeant told me, like, those days are over. You show up 15 minutes before your subordinates are expected to show up. Leaders in the business field, I highly recommend you do that. If you're expecting them to show up 10 minutes prior, you show up 20 or 30 minutes prior. So that way you can get ready for the day and get your ducks in a row so that way you can start putting out fires. You expect them to have a clean work area, then yours had better be immaculate. And don't always rely on the cleaning team to clean your office for you. If you have one, your office, you clean it. You lead by example. You expect them to remove food from the company refrigerator. At the end of the day, then you need to do it. Whatever it is you want your people to do, you need to be willing and able to do it. All right. You lead by example, never requiring a subordinate to do any task you would not do yourself. I cannot stress that enough. That is a little line from the drill sergeant creed. I will not require a soldier to attempt any task I would not do myself. So if you wouldn't do it, don't you dare ask anybody else to do it. It's time to lead by example, not excuses. So here's the deal. Your team is watching you. Your every move you make, every step you take, and if you probably sung that, you're a Gen Xer like me, I think that's this. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's the Police or something like that. From Sting, one of them. Yeah, I'm not gonna try to sing because I can't sing worth a darn. If you're not living leadership, don't expect anyone to follow you. Leading by example means your team sees you out there doing the work, facing the challenges, dealing with the tough stuff. You don't get to sit back and let the team handle it while you're hiding behind a desk. You're not a manager, you're a leader. That means you're getting out there and getting your hands dirty. Roll up your sleeve, get your hand dirty. And listen to me, when the pressure's on, when things crumble around you, when it feels like the world's coming apart, that's when you're the leader, need to show up in force. That's when your leadership gets tested. Anybody can lead when it's soft, when the time is easy. The true mark of your leadership ability is when you have a leadership challenge and the times are hard. That's when you really know if you got what it takes to be a leader. And trust me, it ain't about pay. If you're trying to be a leader for the pay, I would stop right now because the pay ain't worth it. I don't care what level you are. If you're the first level manager or you're the chief executive officer, you're in the C-suite, getting paid maybe just above minimum wage and making $1 million a year. Trust me, the pay is not worth the hassle. You're doing it because you enjoy being a leader, because you want to make an impact on those around you, and because it's what you're good at. Don't do it for the money because it's never worth it, no matter what level you are. I cannot stress that one enough either. So, and your team rely on you to be the shield when everything is on fire. And I don't mean to put that fun out there during right now because of the crisis in Los Angeles County and Southern California. I pre-wrote this before the LA fires broke out. So trust me, it's not intentional. And if you're living out there in LA at this time, Southern California, God bless you. Hope you're doing all right. And hopefully you can rebuild and stuff like that. My heart and prayers are with y'all. If you ain't in the trenches, if you ain't stepping up to take the heat for your team, you're not leading. You're not leading. You're failing. You are the umbrella for your team. You have got to be that shield to deflect stuff from upper management, from your bosses and their bosses. All right. You need to you need to fight for your team, defend them. And I say if they really screw up, hey, sometimes you just gotta. I hate using this analogy, and please don't be offended by this, but sometimes you just got to give them enough rope to hang themselves. All right. Now, speaking metaphorically, let them. Sometimes they're not going to listen, and they have to learn from their mistakes. So please do not take what I just said to heart, meaning you should, literally go do that. No, it's just metaphor. They're letting them do what they have to do, and sometimes let them take the risk. All right. So they're gonna screw up. If they're smoking dope, or doing something they ain't supposed to, you know what? You told them once, you told them twice, 3 times, you're out. All right, moving along, right along. Now, let's break this down. You want to be a leader of your team? Excuse me. Do you want to be the leader your team follows? You don't do that by sitting in an office and dictating orders. You earn that by putting your blood, sweat, and tears into every decision, every step, every task that gets done. You get out there in the field and show them how it is done. You're going to show them what right looks like. All right. If you expect them to dress formal, you better be dressed formal. If you expect them to dress semi casual, I would always recommend you look better. Be the example. Because if you come in all frumpy and look like you got hit with a wrinkle grenade, yeah, you might need to think about it. You're like, hey, I need to go change. All right? Think about it. It starts with you and what you do, your appearance, everything. So think about this. When your team is bogged down, when the deadline is approaching and the pressure is cranking up, are you the one to step in to push them forward to set the example? Or are you hiding behind the screen hoping they'll figure it out? I hope you're the one out there pushing them, helping them to get it done. All right. If you're sitting behind a screen, hoping they get it done and barking orders from behind a computer screen, you're wrong. Now, if you're working remote, hey, things happen, but you still got to try to do what you can. You have to be there for them. All right. Be there for them to help them figure it out. Not don't hide behind the computer screen. You better be the one up front, out front. Leaders lead from the front. You get out there, lead your people. That's what leading is, actually leading the team. You're the one up front. When your team sees you working, pushing, grinding, showing them the way, that's when they know you're the real deal. That's when the respect, the trust, the loyalty, and they will follow you like soldiers following their commander, or in my case, NCOs. You follow your leaders. And it is earned, not given. People will follow you because of your title, because they have to. Anybody can do that. The trick is getting them to follow you because they want to. You all have them leaders, and hopefully you have them leaders. Now you will follow them to the gates of hell, knowing they have your back. And they will do everything they can to protect you. And you know if you follow them, you're going to make it out all right. Then you have those that you wouldn't follow out of a wet paper bag. The ones that are like, you know what? I ain't following this person if this was the last person on earth. All right? Be the one that people want to follow because they want to, not because they have to. Leadership is earned, not given. So let me make this clear. If you're not leading from the front, if you're not getting your hands dirty, if you're not showing your team what leadership looks like, then I hate to tell you this, but you ain't a leader. All right? It's all right. Here's your challenge for the week. Evaluate yourself. How are you leading? Are you telling them what to do? Or are you showing them what it takes? Are you stepping into chaos when things go sideways? Or are you standing by, hoping it resolves itself? If you're serious about being a leader, then it's time to roll up your sleeves and take action and lead with action. Get in the trenches, get dirty, show your team that you're right there with them, what right looks like every step of the way. Don't just tell them to work hard, show them how it's done. When you're in the thick of it, and when you're stepping up in the hardest of times, that's when they'll truly follow you, trust you, and respect you. Now, get out there and lead. Lead by example, or get out of the way. Your team is waiting to see what you're made of. All right? So, all right, troops, HR troops, you had your briefing. Now it's time to put that knowledge into action and lead your teams to victory. Stay sharp, stay focused, never stop pushing the envelope. For more insightful strategies, cutting edge tips, and frontline HR news, hit that subscribe button and join the elite team of HR professionals. This is the HR Drill Sergeant. HR, this is your HR Drill Sergeant. Signing off. Until next time, stay strong, stay smart, keep leading with intensity, and I will see you in the C-suite. Dismissed.